a God above. Anytime them calls reach out to the diaspora, our response is always simply an act of love. Hey, from every group, from every quarter, we muster every strength we could find, putting head, hearts, and hands together with only one thing on our minds, just to ease the pain that you suffer, to let you know that you're not alone. But there are hearts that bleed for Grenada, patriots far away from home. The diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want you to know that we love Grenada bad. The diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though we may live abroad. Our love for this nation, and there is hardly dispute. In any kind of situation, we stand ready to contribute. Let me tell you now, the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want Grenadians at home to please understand. The diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. Some of us live very up in the Grenadian. Hey. We never turn our backs, never bring no harm to this spice nation. Neither have we ever treated this land with scorn. No. For every man, woman, and child across each generation, it's love we have for this land where we all came from. Hey. Never flinching for one moment, no matter what the odds. In any kind of event, you'll always find that Grenadian flag waving and cheering, staking our voices, making our voices heard, ready to take a blow for Grenada. I say for this land we will always proud. Hey, I say the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want you to know that we love Grenada bad. Diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though we may live abroad. Politics and migration are things that drive us apart. There's always room for reconciliation, man. It's never too late to start. Let me tell you now, I say the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We want you to know that we love Grenada bad. I say the diaspora calling, yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though we may live abroad.
Think about it first. Boy, mommy, oh, hey, hey, I liggy dan dan do, di dan da, hey, hey, oh boy, as a calypso, the true voice of the people, to lead you on the right path. I'm responsible. You make not only decides your fate, but is an entire country. It could make or break. The Lord power been vested in you from the day that you were born. We are king and queens, we have control, not to be used as any pawn. That God-given gift so we can know what is right from what is wrong. And in everything that we do, always in for positive outcome. Look before you leave, cause what you sow you reap. Look before you end up in a big, big heap of look before you leave. For curiosity, take a peep. Look before you end up drowning in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you're sure about it. Don't jump, don't act like you're mad. Don't jump, it might be too dangerous. Think about it first. Don't jump. Once you leave the rock, don't jump. And no turning back. No, no. Try to avoid disaster. Oh yo yo. Don't let and all the goals that you set out for suddenly is all grain. Be a leader and don't just follow, or you could end up following clowns, or you could be like birds that should be soaring, but somehow can't get off the ground. With every step that you'll be taking, make sure you take a long hard look. And one thing to always remember, the cover can't help you judge the book. Look before you read, cause what you sow you reap. Look before you end up in a pile of look before you leave. For curiosity, take a peek. Look before you end up drowning in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you show about it. Don't jump, don't act like you're mad. Don't jump, it might be too dangerous. Think about it first. Don't jump, once you leave the rock. Don't jump, and no turning back. No, no, think about it, my brother. Don't invest in anything you don't know about, and don't take chances if you are ever in doubt. You must thoroughly investigate. You can't afford to make no mistake, but by the time you realize it's already late. Be just shooting at what you can see, or looking for needles in the dark. Are you in a hurry going somewhere, but the horse is behind the cart? I saw people who thought by all means they made all the right decisions. Now they're living with so much regrets. They jump from the pot to the frying pan. Look before you leave, cause what you sow you reap. Look before you end up in a pile of look before you leave. For curiosity, take a peep. Look before you end up drowning in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you show about it. Don't jump, don't act like you're bad. Don't jump, it might be too dangerous. Think about it first. Don't jump, once you leave the rock. Don't jump, and no turning back. No, no, try to avoid disaster. No, 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 my brother, don't go. No, no. After everything now, at the end of the day, you are the one who have the final say. So whether it's jobs or relationships or even elections, the mandate is always there resting in your hands. Man, don't venture if it's looking blurry. You don't know what's behind closed curtain. You know what you had for the past years, but you don't know what's coming in. You don't want to see that the outcome is something that you always feared. Avoid self-disgust when it's over and the smoke is already cleared. Look before you leave, cause what you sow you reap. Look before you end up in a pile of look before you leave. For curiosity, take a peek. Look before you end up drowning in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you show about it. Don't jump, don't act like you're mad. Don't jump, it might be too dangerous. Think about it first. Don't jump, once you leave the rock. Don't jump, ain't no turning back. No, no, let us avoid disaster.
Advice from my friend in Brooklyn. She tell me, Jerry, I want you to stop competing. I don't like the kind of treatment you're getting. I find this thing get humiliating. So go from a regime. When I look at the people who they see there, it's a set of people called so rich. They sing
but they cannot write a song. Some judges, they bring in the art from down, and it so needs to reform. They sit down judging their colleagues and friends, don't care about the money we spend. The art form rarely gone to spit them boy writing song and still judging it. He said the reason you will not get no reward, they bring to small. Even though Grenadians them love you bad, they bring to small. She say you and them no sit and no glass, they bring to small. But tell them to kiss your Grenadian ass. I would like to say, my blood not blue, you should know bread. For things to change like the one bloodshed. But I hold me pride, I will never beg. Everybody know not man that's sharing bread. This place that they call Spice Mass Corporation, such a corrupt and deceitful institution. Them people don't care about artists at all, especially the woman named Sita Hall, who does act abnormal. For some reason this woman thinks she hot. Plenty artists love to ride and she back. Just imagine in every calypso show, artists have to spend money at the door. How all you wicked so? The Minister of Culture, girl that caused that. Under her watch, yes, the culture flag. Under Sita Hall, we going to rebel. Send this woman back and run the G-cell. The reason they will not give you a crown, they bring to small. They say you hungry, you mouth on the ground, they bring to small. You just compose knowledge mixed with wisdom, they bring to small. Love your adjective mixed up with pronoun, they bring to small. Yeah, after yeah, man, it's the same thing. Same set of people they have judging. Out of 23 judges, they pick 9. Judges workshop is a waste of time. She say, Calypso, this thing should be run as a business, but the government have to show some more interest. Ambassadorial passport for authentic artists, so Grenada's popularity increase. What's on the mark of the beast? Invest more money into the culture. Give the Calypso Association more power. Let us sit and trash out with indirect. We don't want Sita Hall to sign with check. I have to object. Look how much years we does have to vet with the late start of Calypso 10. Everybody want us to take it cool when their strategy is divide and rule. The reason you will not get no support, they bring to small. They want to
join renowned trainer Lincoln the Goose Jones for an electrifying fitness experience that includes aerobics, exercise, weight training, strength training, and much more. Join the fitness revolution at the Tag-Team Netball Court and the Old Trafford playing field every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Unleash your inner strength and groove to the beats of DJ Killer Sound while you sweat it out. Affordable pricing, just $65 per month or $30 per class. For more information, call 410-3711. Don't miss out on this chance to transform your fitness routine. Level up today with Follow Me Fitness.
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than the Chameleon Design Studios, the creative powerhouse behind Key Central and dozens of standout brands across Grenada and beyond. From web designs, animations, and motion graphics to custom video productions, we bring your visions to life with unmatched efficiency and professionalism. Need a logo? Logo design starts at just $1,500, and our starter pack includes brochures, call cards, and letterheads. Whether you're launching a new business, revamping your identity, or telling your story visual, Chameleon Design Studios is the new face of designs. Call us now at 1473-422-8601 or scan that QR code. Follow us on Instagram at Chameleon_473. Let's communicate. Call us today.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. We Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
There we go. Oh, yo, yo. Politics. You divide Grenada and that's no kicks.
And good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Pirimatni. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be with you until the 10 o'clock hour.
So I go fix up them old police station to hold those who murder and rape. Cause I'm fed up reading the media about an ex-prisoner escape. And I go fix up all those high prices that most Grenadians can't afford. Instead of demolishing those poor vendors put along the side of the road and leave them balling with them out close.
You'd see, I feel we need version 2 of that this year, you know.
Close.
Part 2, yeah.
Dance balling with them out close. The higher the monkey climb is more we expose. My people balling.
Waggy T, Judah, link up the thing. I think we need a separate Calypso competition, yeah.
And then the seas of the blues. My people balling.
Yeah, we have a separate Calypso competition. They could have the normal Calypso competition and we go have a next one, yeah? Well, fine.
Why the hell food prices gone up so fast? Transformation in we mass. The people balling anyway.
So hope all of you have had a wonderful day today. Saying a special good night to each and every one of you joining us via the various mediums. Those of you on YouTube, those of you on Facebook, the Talking Points website, those of you on We Noise Radio and We Noise TV. Say a special good night to you, Wade. Hope you're having a wonderful night, bro. I realized last night program rubbed some people the wrong way, boy.
All because of politics.
I realized some of the programs this week that we've done kind of rub people the wrong way, yeah.
Done me enemy.
And it have a lady, she do a program yesterday and like that rubbed some people the wrong way too.
Remember it.
All you know which lady that is, you know.
Let the protest.
Good night to you, Sister Jenny Simon.
Like a bed by
Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight, my dear.
the local workers and make sure that you treat them right. Don't
Jenny just out there doing the Lord's work, eh?
leave them out close.
They can't stop her.
The seas of the blues. Grenadians balling with them out close. They say when you're poor is when you expose. My people balling.
Let me see you all checking in. Those of you on the YouTube, those of you on the Facebook, hit the like button.
The Jesus is of the blues.
always be sure that either Chris or Chris and Moko will be there in the comment section making sure that they do that premiere.
Why the hell you remove the cap from the gas? Transformation in we mass. No what in me tanky can't even last. Transformation in we mass. But you driving wrong in dark tinted glass. Transformation in we mass. When I start to talk you say in a fast. Transformation in we mass. Hey.
And yes, indeed, folks. And you know, yesterday we had the official visit of the President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. That is Her Excellency Delcy Rodriguez. She's the acting President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. And her first visit since the events of January this year, in which the United States, they invaded Venezuela and they arrested President Maduro. And she's now the acting president. So the first time that she's actually left Venezuela since that activity was yesterday. And the place that she chose to come is not 6 miles off from Venezuela in Trinidad. It's not no miles off, but basically jamming up against Guyana or Colombia. No, she decided that she was coming to Grenada. So many of us were waiting to hear, because we were told that at the end of her visit, a communique would be issued that would give some information as to why she's visited and the different agreements that have been arrived at and so on. So for the day today, and let me just make one more check again. Yeah, let me check my email just before I go into that again. Yeah, and still no. Yeah, still nothing. Outside of one release that was sent out today that in my view is a nothing release, because we were expecting to hear, well, okay, this is what Grenada has secured, or these are the, that in fact we heard that they were supposed to be meeting with the cabinet of Grenada. We realized that it seemed to have been a selection of some of the members of cabinet. I don't know if it's that some of them were off island or whatever it was, but it did not seem from what we were allowed to see that the entire cabinet was there. It's like some people was there and some wasn't there and that kind of thing. So the release reads, and you know, I'll show you so that you know that I'm speaking the truth here. Official visit of Her Excellency Delcy Rodriguez, acting President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, to Grenada. The government of Grenada today had the honor to welcome for her first official visit Her Excellency Delcy Rodriguez, the acting President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, to Grenada. Her Excellency was accompanied by members of our official delegation and senior government officials. Now, there's the first thing here, and this is just pure lazy work. If you are, yes, I was the Minister of Information, I could coach them on things like this because it's representative of our country. Her Excellency was accompanied by members of our official delegation and senior government officials. Who you expect her to be accompanied by? Anybody that accompanies her is obviously a member of a delegation, idiots. And who were the people? Senior government officials. If a delegation is coming, how hard is it for you to get from the people who are coming, because you would know before they arrive anyway, who are the people that have formed part of a delegation, and note the people in the release that you're putting out. So people know, okay, this guy is the secretary responsible for agriculture. This guy is the secretary responsible for tourism. This guy is the secretary responsible for trade and investment. So at least we know who the people who have come are, and therefore what areas Grenada and Venezuela were discussing. This individual is the Minister of Energy. So therefore they were discussing oil and boundary delimitation, whatever it is. But instead of that, accompanied by members of her official delegation, like she was supposed to be here with members of the Trinidad official delegation. Of course she would come with members of her delegation. Who else she go come with? It's just a nonsensical statement to write, and that's what happens when you write your releases with ChatGPT. Anyway, and senior government officials. Who senior government officials? Was the general in charge of the army here? I mean, you don't need to name everybody, but you name the key people who are accompanying her. Ministers, vice ministers, whatever it is. You name the key people who are coming with her. The visit took place in a cordial and constructive atmosphere and served to further strengthen the long-standing relations of friendship and cooperation between Grenada and the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. We expect her to come here and cuss, so we know that going to happen. We are friendly people, and Grenadians, by and large, all of us, we are friendly people. So we expect she will come here and we will have a cuss out. Of course, it will be in a constructive and cordial atmosphere. So it's basically for the first part of this, you can say nothing yet. All right. Program of official activities. Her Excellency departed Venezuela via Maiqueta. That is what you say it. My Spanish gone bad now, yeah. International airport, from where an official air transfer conveyed the president and the delegation to Grenada. Unnecessary information, waste of time. Again, when you let ChatGPT write things for you, this is what happens. Unnecessary information. Nobody in the media needs to know that she passed through that airport to get to there. And many of us have flight radar, so we were monitoring her flight from the time it leave Venezuela till it reach here anyway. Not just her flight, but the other flights that accompanied her. We were watching it online. We saw when they was coming in, we saw when they're landing, and I could hear them from where I was. Upon arrival at Maurice Bishop International Airport, Her Excellency was officially received by representatives of the government of Grenada and a guard of honor by the Commissioner of Police and other members. Other members of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Put a S here now. Right, of the Royal Grenada Police Force. And all the fellas look sharp. Yeah, man. All they was cutting a razor. Yeah, man. All they slicing a molecule. First, all they was sharp. The president subsequently paid a courtesy call on Her Excellency Dame Cecile Agrenade, Governor General of Grenada, at the office of the Governor General, Point Saline. Alright, yeah, would that be a hell of a thing if she visited the Governor General at the Prime Minister's office, eh? Anyhow, an extended working meeting was held at the Parliament of Grenada between Her Excellency and Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, accompanied by ministers appointed at his discretion. Yeah, at his discretion. I know he wasn't seeing the whole team there. Yeah, because you know half of them is a waste of, well, not half. You know that 90% of your ministers is a waste of time. Yeah, so you bring I think I saw you bring Cornwall, yeah. I could understand Cornwall. I might have my issues with him. I don't think he's a stupid individual. Yeah, I don't think Mr. Cornwall. One thing I wouldn't say is that he's stupid. I don't think so. Yeah. I see you had the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Important because both Mr. Cornwall and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, they do speak Spanish. So it would be important to have both of them there. I think I may have seen the Minister of Health. I'm not sure. Yeah, but anyway, right? Discussions focused on bilateral cooperation, regional issues, and areas of mutual interest. And I'd love to hear what discussion on regional issues took place. I'm sure the President of the United States would also like to hear what discussions on regional issues took place. Yeah, by now he know anyway, but yeah, I'm sure you want to know as well. Bilateral engagements. During their discussions, both sides reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening diplomatic relations and enhancing cooperation in priority areas including energy, economic development, climate smart agriculture, training opportunities, education, and cultural exchanges. That's just skirting the issue and saying, okay, we talk about that. That doesn't say that you firmed up anything on that. Yeah, you reaffirmed your commitment to strengthening, but you didn't do anything on it. That's what you're saying, right? The government and people of Grenada express appreciation for the visit and for the continued spirit of solidarity and partnership between both nations. Her Excellency in turn conveyed sincere gratitude for the warm hospitality extended by the government and people of Grenada. The official visit concluded on Thursday, 9th April 2026. That is when you ask ChatGPT to write a release. You give it the little prompts. You say this is what the general things that happen here. And you say do a release for us. That is what happened. All you too lazy. Write the release on them. Love you. Write the release on them. Stop this nonsense about ChatGPT release. So they're making us look bad. Yeah? Stop that nonsense. And let's see what else we have here. Yeah, that was them on that particular one. But you know what I saw, folks? I saw something come out today. So let me let you all know, you all have to be on the lookout and on the ready, because the Parliamentary Elections Office, they put out this notice today. And that notice says, Parliamentary Elections Office, Public Notice, Representation of the People's Act, Chapter 286A, Official Addendum, List of Electors as of the 31st of March 2026. Remember, I did say to you all that this would be coming out. I did mention to you all that the addendum to the voters list, in other words, only the people who have been registered between January 1st and 31st of March will be appearing on this list that's coming out. It will not be a list that you have to look on for your name. You can look on the general list, but it's not a list that you would have to look on for your name. This is the list if you have been registered between January and the 31st. So we still have to go through the list. Even though we're not looking for our names, we have to go through that list, because we need to make sure that the people who are registered between January 1st and 31st of March, those people, we have to make sure that the right people registered. In other words, that legally they are supposed to register, that they have been living in the area they registered as an elector for 1 year. They can't just appear, take a plane from Canada and come in, spend 2 weeks, and all of a sudden claim residency in that area. It do operate so. Yeah? That is not supposed to happen. And if a situation as that has happened, and you are allowing that situation to continue, you are aiding and abetting in an illegal act against your constitution and against the laws of Grenada. Yeah? So we need to make sure that we abide by the laws. We have to find those people and report them. The general public is hereby informed that the official addendum list of electors as of 31st March 2026 will be available for inspection from Wednesday, 15th April 2026. That's Wednesday coming. There shall be a 7-day period for claims and objections regarding the list from the 15th, from next week Wednesday, to the 22nd of April 2026. So a 7-day period for claims, right? The list can be found in each parliamentary elections constituency office and at post offices, police stations, medical stations, and other public places. Requests for alterations or corrections of any error in the name, address, or polling division of any registered person should be submitted to the registration officer of the constituency on or before the 22nd of April 2026. Everyone, and particularly those who registered during the period January to March 2026, are advised to inspect the list to ensure that his or her name is properly included. The list should be checked to establish whether there is any name included in it that should not be there. They are telling you look for those names, because honestly the Parliamentary Electoral Office people may not know. So they are going by, they're taking it, okay, the person come with 2 documents, they say, yeah, they register them. But you who are living there will know that that person is not from the constituency and needs to be registered where they're from, or that they shouldn't be registered at all because they have not met the residency requirement to be registered. Yeah? A list of the names, addresses, and contact numbers of the registration officers is attached, and let me get that for you. Yeah, let me get that for you. And we're not taking calls yet. Just letting you all know before somebody call in the middle of this. We're not taking calls yet. I'll say when we're taking calls. All right. Again, we are not taking calls yet. Right. Parliamentary Elections Office. Hey, let me set T in between that. Fix that. Right. Yeah. Registration officers, office locations, and telephone numbers. In Carriacou and Petit Martinique, where they're trying to Amanda Jack the situation. Amanda Jack, Mr. Herbert Alexis Building, Middle Street, Hillsborough, 443-6430. St. Andrew Southeast. In fact, let me put this larger for you all. Yeah, let me put that larger for you all so you could see the thing there proper. Nice. Right. Yeah. Mr. Herbert Alexis Building, right. So we are on St. Andrew Southeast. Shirlene Robertson. And the office location is at the Agriculture Office, Seaton James Street in Grenville. The phone number there, 438-5248. St. Andrew Southwest, Junior Alexis, and the office location is Lacroix Building at Gladstone Road in Grenville. And the phone number there, 438-5228. St. Andrew Northeast, Evan George Matthew Bowler. And the location is Mr. Henry Davis's building, junction of Paradise and Cocoa Road, 442-4068. St. Andrew Northwest, Laverne John, next to Mr. Mitchell's shop in Maribo. The phone number there, 442-4367. St. David, there are 2 locations, and the officer there is Mr. Peter Regis, and it's at the former NCB building, Petit Esperance, St. David, and Communal Cooperative Credit Union building, Pedmata, St. David, and phone number in both cases is 444-6025. Town of St. George, Mr. Stephen Raphael Crony, and his location is Bruce Street, St. George, close to the exit of Sendall Tunnel. That's right across from where the post office used to be, right in that area right there. 440-4037, not where it used to be, where it is. Right, St. George Northeast, Margaret Belfon, and they've got 2 locations, 2 phone numbers. That's the ground floor of Deco Building, Tempe, St. George. The phone number there, 435-5032, and Dr. Alexis's building, the Green, St. Paul, St. George, 435-9476. As to the second location, Dr. Alexis's building, I seem to think that has moved, you know. Somebody messaged me. I remember one of my listeners calling me and saying they were looking for it and they were not finding that it was close by, but it was not the same place. So message me. Yeah, how you get me the last time? Message me. Right? St. George Northwest, Kevin Francis, Happy Hill. It's in Happy Hill at the St. George, 2-story building, Happy Hill Road, after Shenda Road on the left in a northerly direction. So if you pass Shenda Gap and you're going up the hill, you're looking on your left and you'll see the building there. You'll see the sign and you see the building. St. George Southeast, it's at the Marian Community Center in Cocoa Road, Marian, St. George. Phone number there, 440-6040. And Dr. Alexis Building, St. Paul, St. George, 435-9477. The registration officer is Glenn Alexander. St. George South, Cheryl Ann Dunbar, and 2 locations, Limes Road, Grenadian, St. George. First building on the right entering the Limes Road, that's 439-7108. And it's not the first, it's the second building. The first building is the Jessamy Girls building where she does thing there. It's the second building, right? Yeah, you all have to correct these things, man. Come on. And the second location, Spring St. George, next to Liz and Roll Restaurant. That's 443-3726. St. John, Sheila Charles Calise, and the office is on Langton Road. Go up St. John. Downstairs, Mr. Carlton Frederick's building on Langton Road. Phone number there, 437-1319. St. Mark, Samuel Britton, and that's on Queen Street, Victoria St. Mark. Downstairs, Miss Louise George's residence opposite the fish market. Phone number there, 437-1101. St. Patrick East, Chrislyn Laborde, and that's in Sotez, St. Patrick at the GIDC building down by the bus terminal there. Phone number 442-0776. And St. Patrick West, same location, different officers, Jennifer Charles, but that's at Sotez, St. Patrick GIDC building. Phone number 442-0777. So those are the list of registration officers who you, you could, if you have your concerns about the list, you'll find some information there that ain't supposed to be there, that kind of thing. You find a person name that on the list that not supposed to be there, yeah, you could deal with that. You could go and you could tell them, ting, all you need to deal with that, right? But there is something else I need to raise here. And I've been saying it, and they have confirmed it with what they have put out today. Again, still with the Parliamentary Electoral Office. And that is that some of the offices are not operating. Yeah? So this is a letter from the Parliamentary Electoral Office, disruption of service for immediate release. The Parliamentary Elections Office wishes to inform the general public that due to circumstances beyond its control, the following sub-offices are temporarily unable to conduct registration. Carriacou, St. David, the office in Pedmata, and St. Mark. Furthermore, the Parliamentary Electoral Office wishes to inform the general public that our website is currently not accessible at the moment. These issues have arisen as our service provider is making some necessary upgrades to their system, and this has affected our services offered. The Parliamentary Electoral Office apologizes for any inconvenience caused and wishes to assure all concerned that every effort is being made to restore services and have those challenges addressed as soon as possible. So let me just make something clear here. It says that those 3 offices are unable to conduct registration. Those offices are still supposed to be open, because people, when that list comes out next week, people should still be able to go to those offices and make their submissions as to what is wrong. Yeah, that these 10 people, they are registered and the name need to come off the list. Yeah, people should still be open. So even though you see this note saying that the offices are temporarily unable to conduct registration, those offices should still be open. Yeah, and again, this goes against the constitutional rights of the people in Carriacou, the people in St. David, and the people of St. Mark, that they are not able to register as electors in Grenada. We have continuous registration in Grenada, continuous registration, which means the only time a person should be unable to register for an election is when elections have been called. Yeah, you have an election date has been given, and there is a date when the writ of election is filed, and therefore at that time registration would cease. The day after election they could start registering people again. But at the time of the issuance of a writ of elections, Parliament could be dissolved and the writ even issued for the elections. Once the writ is issued, and you see it posted up around the place, writ for election and so, once that is issued, you cannot register again. What about people who have gone a number of times, because I've heard of the situation in Carriacou, that people in Carriacou trying to register and can't register. If it had been before, you would have heard the current MP making all kind of noise about he have people to register and he people can't register and he can't get the people register and all that sort of thing. And now, when we speak about it, it seems as if something wrong when we speak about it. But the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique deserve better. So they ought to be able to register to vote him out. So all of a sudden they're temporarily unable to conduct registration. That is over a month in Carriacou, don't try that. That is not no temporary situation. It has been that way for a while now. At least a month from what I've been hearing, and it might even be more. So Carriacou, they need to sort out that issue in Carriacou. Again, the new National Party left money there for them to do the system. They did not do the new electoral system. They had a whole going on 4 years to do the new electoral system. Registration system. They did not do it. We should not be having these kind of problems right now when you're on the cusp of going into elections, because they can say what they want. We are within an election year. Within the next year, the next 12 months, you will be seeing an election in Grenada. In my view, it will be in a shorter period of time. It might be in as short as a month or 2 months. You will be seeing a general election, in my view. I was never a Boy Scout, but I always believe in being prepared. Yeah? So Carriacou, St. David, they are having that problem too. And St. Mark. So all you feel, all you go try that in St. Mark and get away. So why don't you all make some sort of alternative arrangements so that the people of these areas can still register, even if, you all could, I'm pretty sure that you all can take their biometrics. I'm pretty sure that there's certain things that you all can do. Yeah? As long as it is done in line with the law. But we've been saying the system that was obtained by the former NDC administration back in about 2010. That was when the new registration system was secured, and the company that they got that system from, the computers, the fingerprint machine, the print, all of these things that they got, that company no longer exists. And we're speaking, how much years now? 2010. So we're speaking 16 years ago? Yeah, we're speaking 16 years ago. So the NNP put things in place so that at the end of the last election, you could have started immediately after changing out that registration system and putting in a new system. They just leave it. They're too busy spending. How much million now they spend on the residence of the Prime Minister? They're busy spending millions on there. But they ain't sorting out the registration system. Because they want the registration system to be faulty. They want the registration system to be open to outside attack. They want the registration system to be the way that it is right now. They don't want a proper registration system. Because you had one who was talking about NNP was bringing in people from Union Island and Bakeway and registering them in Carriacou to vote and so on. And when you do hear the cry, the pot was calling the kettle black. When you do hear the cry. So this issue needs to be addressed and needs to be addressed expeditiously. That's the word I was used? Yes. Expeditiously. It needs to be addressed. Alright? This is not something that we should take lightly. This is a serious situation. And remember, this goes against the grain of what happened the last time. I still have my issues. I do believe that when you say 7 days, and I saw they just did it again, when you say 7 days for people to view the list, in my view, you should not be checking holidays or weekends. Because the office that they have to go to is not open on those days. It is my reading of the law. It is my understanding of the law. Who are they going to go to on Sunday? If you're counting Sunday as one of the days, who are they going to go to on a Sunday and say, we found these 5 names, these people no longer need, these people should not be on the list. These people have not lived in this area for 5 years. These people names should not be there. 10 years now they're gone. What system is in place for reporting? If there's an electronic system for reporting on those days, that is one thing. But you can't, and then they should be able to receive a receipt on that day to say that it has been received. But in my view, you can't say that you're sending out this information on the 15th, was it? Yeah, the 15th, next week, Wednesday. And people have 7-day period for claims, and the 7-day period includes 2 days when your office is closed. Because the last time, what did we have? We had a situation where the office was closed on the final day that people had. So it took the weekend and then it took another day. So people did not have 7 days. Yeah? They had 4. 4 days is what they had. Remember this? No, don't forget. Don't forget things, man. Let me pull it there. You all forgot this. The last time we had the list coming out and you had to make your objections and so on. Not only could you not make it over the weekend, obviously, and I think maybe they're doing this and they don't understand, but in my view, and I think that is something probably some folks need to challenge. In my view, I do not believe that Saturdays and Sundays should be checked as 2 of the days that people can make objections, because you obviously cannot make objections on those days. And then in this case, 1 day was taken away because they had a retreat on the final day. So the Thursday, when they had the list that came out earlier this year, the Thursday, they had a retreat, and the Thursday was the final day for objections, but all the offices were closed. So it's like what they've been doing is restricting your ability to make objections. They're taking away days from you to be able to make your objections. I ain't trust that. Whether it is willfully being done or not willfully being done, now you know, because we have spoken about it. Fix it. Because when they went on this retreat, nothing said they couldn't do the retreat the Friday. There was nothing that said they couldn't do the retreat the Saturday. There was nothing that said they couldn't do the retreat Sunday evening. Nothing said they couldn't do the retreat the following Monday or Tuesday or whenever. But they chose, out of all the days in the year, 365, they chose the day that was important to the electoral system, when people had to be able to go in and say, look, we've been looking over the last few days, we've been looking over, these are the names that we have. They took that day away from you. And that, in my view, does not sit well with me. It means, therefore, that all of us have to make sure that we look very close at that list, because, in my view, some kind of thing taking place there. So we need to look closer at that list. Because if that is taking place where you realize you're starting to lose days. So if you're supposed to have 7 days where you could do it, you realize you really and truly only have 5. And in the last instance, not this one, but the instance before, in January, you only had 4 days in which you could have made those submissions. That, again, does not sit well with me. You already have the Karakou situation with a known T-shirt wearing, activity going, NDC supporter in the person of Amanda Jack, who is the registration officer over there. You already have that situation, a situation that ought not to occur. Nobody can say you can't support your party, but that open support and so on, it sends shade on the entire electoral process. Elections should not only be fair and free, they must also seem to be free and fair. Right? So that is the situation with that. So we need to pay attention to what is going on with the electoral office. The list is coming out next week, Wednesday. We all need to make sure that we get the list and that we can put a face to every name on the list, and then we can verify that that person's name should be on the list. Because you hear them speaking. You hear different members of the NDC, some people who have not been back to Grenada for 40 and 50 years and have no problem with the diaspora participating in election. Have no problems with the diaspora having their view on what is going on in Grenada. The diaspora send remittances to this country, and it's a significant boost to economy, the remittances sent by people in the diaspora. The neighbor string berry here. So I have no problem with them having their say. But if the law says that you have to be ordinarily resident in an area to register, you have to follow the law. It's not that I am against or somebody's against you as someone living in the diaspora having the ability to participate in an election. I believe many more of you should become involved in the election and vote for the NNP. Even if NDC giving you ticket and telling you come down because you know they're planning. So all with the telling you come down, take the ticket from the NDC and come down and vote NNP. You have to tell you, it's you and God alone inside the polling station, you know. When you walk inside there, you, God, and the pencil. That is what it is. And the ballot. That is what inside there. Vote NNP. Take the ticket, come down. But make sure that you're legally registered. Because you know what's going to happen too? Some of you don't realize what you're really doing. Eh? If a case is brought against you as an elector, or a group of you as electors who came in, were illegally registered, were allowed to vote in a particular constituency, you know there's the chance that the person that you came in and think you was helping and you vote for, that person could lose their seat. When I say that, even if they were able to pull through and win on election day, that subsequent happenings through the courts can make that seat null and void, empty. So that a by-election has to take place there with a clean list. Because if the list that was used had people that shouldn't be on it, then you could say, well, no, these people were not supposed to be on this list. And we don't know if these people vote for or against, so we don't know if these people and them were the ones that caused this person to win or lose or whatever. And therefore, we are going to call the election in that constituency null and void. So all of you who planning you're coming down and, oh, I like this one and I go in there and register. Not from there, you know, but I like them, so I go in there, I go register there. Yeah, go ahead and do it. And when it is challenged, you go realize what's going on. Register where you're from. Yeah? Register where you're ordinarily resident. Right? Because what I'm seeing here does not sit right with me. I don't know for you. I'm talking about me as Sheldon. This does not sit right with me. Yeah? And I believe that that whole situation needs to be looked at. All right? Nice. Beautiful.
There we go.
know I'm going to open the phone lines. I'll take your calls, yeah.
Politics, you divide Grenada.
421-7279, WhatsApp only.
Politics, politics.
And also 440-7377.
So I go fix up them old police station to hold those who murder and rape.
And remember as well, donate, yeah?
And I go fix up.
I know they were doing some work on the site because they're updating the site. So some of you tried to visit the site last night and you were getting an error code. But it is okay and working right now, so you can go there and donate, yeah?
Baby Jesus is of the blood. Grenadians balling with them out close. High and the monkey climb is more we expose. My people balling with them out close.
Yeah, and while the Parliamentary Electoral Office said their site is down, I'm not seeing that. Their site is up and running, yeah? They did mention that their site is down, but their site is up and... Oh, no, nah. That's just the face, boy. Yeah, certain things showing. Let's see if we can search the voters list. Let's see if we can search the voters list there. Yeah, it seems as though we can still search the voters list. Let me see. We go search for Charlotte Scott. Let me search and see if we find him. Yeah, man, we finding him and thing. Yeah, certain aspects of your site ain't working, but the site working, man. Yeah. Let me see where you voting. Right, you see, we click on the thing here, we vote in Cali's Government School. Election morning, bright and early, we there. Right? Votes at Cali's Government School. Yeah? Nice thing, registration number there, nice, beautiful. Sex, male, of course, yes, right? Yeah, you ain't get that wrong. Frequente. Media worker, polling division, LO8. Nice, yeah. Me had to hide that, that is open information, anybody could find that. So the site itself, there are certain aspects of it that may be off, but we just tried it there, tried it live, and you saw that we got through. All right, so at least that part, at least they're doing some. They did say the person is doing some work on it, yeah.
Are we robbing up the same white boys like a bed bug in the night? But just remember the local workers and make sure that you treat them.
My good friend NM, I'm gonna check and see if you're there. The Geezer, good night to you, my brother. Hope everything is going all well and okay with you.
Jesus is of the blood.
And some folks have been asking whether there is overseas voting. No, there's no overseas voting for Grenada. You must be in the state of Grenada on election day to be able to cast your ballot, yeah?
My people balling with them out close. Get them. Oh God, baby, Jesus is of the blues. Grenadians balling with them out close. Be careful with the tons when you're picking rows. Why the hell you remove the cap?
Again, 421-7279, 440-7377. Just giving you the opportunity to call before I dive into the other sections. You know, one of the things that I noticed yesterday, when I was looking at the brooch that was worn by the acting president of Venezuela, I must say though that it's an affront to the Guyanese people, because that brooch had a map of Venezuela inclusive of the Essequibo. And the Essequibo region, as we know, is part of Guyana. Guyana is a fellow CARICOM member. Yeah? They are a fellow Commonwealth member. We cannot just ignore those overtures of the Venezuelan people towards our brothers and sisters in Guyana. We can't just do like this thing happening. So while we love the Venezuelan people and we have our blood relation to the Venezuelan people, we have the same with the people of Guyana too. We have blood relation with them. We don't want no fighting between the brothers and sisters. Yeah? And for your first trip as the president, the acting president of Venezuela, outside of Venezuela, and to wear a provocative item like that, very prominent provocative item like that, including the little piece of the Essequibo, as though that is part of Venezuela. No. That is not nice. If you're speaking regional issues and bilaterals and you're speaking about peace and hegemony in the region and all of that, you can't be doing them kind of thing there. No. And we can't be afraid to say them kind of thing, you know, because yeah, We are all one people, you know. Yeah, I might not have any Guyanese family, but I mean, come on. Them is we and we is them. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night, sir. That's not me calling in.
Nutmeg State, how are you doing?
Yeah. Who are the people who man this this station, this registration station? Do they have any political affiliations? Because it's over a year now where since the opposition went to the governor to talk to her about that lady in Carrico, and she said, "Oh, I'll give her send her a warning." Now, if you look at the three areas, St. David's, St. Mark's, and Carrico, these are what we call almost swing states. Not St. Mark's is
St. Mark's ain't no swing here. Yeah, forget that.
right. St. Mark's is out of the question, right? Now, that lady in Carrico has been given trouble for almost, I stopped calling on the program, almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
What is our leader doing about that? Now, I mean, it seems that, we are too timid. That lady is causing a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I'm saying is this, that together with what I've been mentioning earlier there, and so on, I believe that the party will be addressing that issue very, very soon. The party will be addressing that issue. Because in my view, one, when it came to the skipping of the days, now why should you try to reduce the number of days that I have to be able to make my complaint? You can't be doing that. And there has to be a reason. If you're going that far to try and do that, there has to be a reason for it. Which is why I'm telling, because I'm one person. I could look at the list and I may know some people, I may know a particular area, and I could tell you, okay, these people are really from here and these are not from here. But I can't pull a list for Kalalu in Hermitage and tell you that these 10 people not supposed to be in Kalalu. I can't do it. The people in Kalalu and those areas up there are the ones that have to do it. I can't pull a list for Baghdad and St. George Northeast and say these people, or behind the stadium, the Progress Park area there, and say these people, these 5 people not supposed to be there, how their name end up on the list. So I'll continue to make the call for all of us to help the party. The party is doing, let me say, it may seem as though the party is being timid and so on. The party is doing a lot of work in the background. When the time comes for them to speak out on what they are doing, they will speak out on what they're doing. You don't want to throw it off, or sometimes you don't want to tip off people exactly what you're doing, but a lot of work is taking place in the background regarding these issues. I'm just highlighting them so that people are very aware that these issues are there. There's no way 7 days includes 2 days when your office closed, and in one instance includes 3 days your office closed. You could have put it day before, you could have put it not day before, you could have put it the day after, the week after, everything, but you decided to take away a day from the Grenadian people to make the application that these people's name should not be on a list. Yeah? And I mean, that is a legal requirement. And then you have a person who is openly involved in politics, who is up there in Carrico and going about the merry way. And right now, it just happens to be the same place that, according to them, we don't know if people being registered elsewhere, otherwise, all kind of thing. But officially, from them, nobody's being registered. And you're right to raise the issue and be concerned about it. But I'll assure you that the new National Party is working on these issues.
Okay, now my second question, I'm going to talk for like 2 more minutes.
No, you go ahead.
My second question, do we have other ministers than the Prime Minister of everything in Grenada? I was looking at a program, why is the Prime Minister going and talk about nutmeg bowl and agriculture? Does he know everything, or is he planning to use the Grenadian truck to go and pick nutmeg again, or is that what he's planning?
Maybe that's what you want to talk to them about.
Yeah, because he is into agriculture, he's into infrastructure, he's into everything. He doesn't know nothing about agriculture. Where is that should have been our Minister of Agriculture, shouldn't it be?
Well,
He
let
is
me
taking,
say,
he's,
I did glimpse in the news, I did glimpse something with him speaking at a nutmeg thing. What I would say is this though, I don't think, and I'll be honest here, I do not think anything is wrong with the Prime Minister going to the nutmeg board and speak, but I think it should be in the company of the minister. So it can't be you go to talk to them and the minister out the country. It can't be you go to talk to them and the minister in the country, but he not at the meeting. Any such discussion should take place with the minister. You are correct in that sense. The minister is the Minister of Agriculture. He knows what's going on there better than the Prime Minister. He should be there.
okay, and my last point is that go-to fet is not doing you justice. There is a commission there that's not
It's onerous.
you know.
Okay, we'll sort that out, man.
Your Sheldon thing is
Oh, the PayPal.
yeah, the PayPal for you. That's that might be more lucrative, right?
Yeah, Sheldon Scott 473. Although whatever is sent,
All right.
sent there will have to sit there for 30 days, but that's not a problem.
Oh no, that's not
No, that's just as it's new. As it's new, it's gonna take 30
Then
days for anything there.
what about the well, I mean it costs $10 to send MoneyGram and thing. Well, all right, but maybe you could negotiate better with that go to Fed because
Okay.
it's all right.
We will have a negotiation, yes sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you. No, the go-to Fed, in defense of the go-to Fed, what I would say for it is that even though the fee is that, so it would reduce the amount that I get, the service is very, very, very efficient. It's very, very secure. So I trust it wholeheartedly. It's very secure and it is very efficient. The individual who is doing that, I think this guy does live in the internet. So I would even advise that you can use it sometimes as a means if you want to have it so that you can transfer funds near immediately to family members in Grenada, that you look at using the GoToFed system. Yeah, because you may be able to use it and you're in Canada and so on, and you can send it direct to the account of a family member in Grenada. They usually do it during the working hours. They will do the transfer, but you send it now. They're always checking, yeah, so you won't have a problem there. We have a caller online. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. Good night.
Mr. DJ, me and you have to have
Yes, sir.
me and you have to have a conversation on a scene, but we could talk about that off the airs, you know?
No scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy Friday, man.
Yeah, man.
The go-to-fed thing is a good. That's really good. Trust me, it's real professional and thing like that.
Yeah, you're professional, man. I know one or two people have told me about the fees. The fees generally would affect me because if you're sending 50 and they take the fees out of the 50, it's gonna affect me, and I don't mind on my end because I'm paying for a service that is A class.
Yeah.
So let me just.
But it's similar to the It's similar to the money sending agencies. I want to call it name. It's similar to that. So
I understand.
You must have users fee. Yeah, Sheldon. I've been watching something the other day with Mr. Deacon Mitchell, Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. I know this is the man. And I realized he has been going on radio programs. He's been doing some what we call junkets. He going to that program there, and he's doing things and he's saying certain things, and he's enjoying himself and laughing, and people. When you watch the comments, well, I don't really bother the comments. But what I'm saying is what the man's saying and what the man is saying. Yeah? And then you see what he's doing by leaving out his ministers, his cabinet ministers. So if the NDC supporters cannot see.
It was obvious yesterday. The man make a selection of ministers and he ain't go with all of them. Not anybody was welcome in the gates of heaven. Some people had to go to hell.
If it's not obvious what is going on with this NDC. No, nobody hate anybody in the NDC. We are all Grenadians. What I don't like is your policy and your policies and your practices. You understand? That's my parliament. You have people in the NDC I respect. I will never bad talk them. But what I'm seeing happening is certain members who are bending their back, breaking their back to promote and support what is happening. Just like the orange one in a certain North American country. Look at this man cabinet up in that place of it. People is being fired and he's cussing them. He's cussing his own people that prop him up. I ain't talking about Grenada, no, I'm not talking about. And look what happened in Grenada. It is mirroring. You know, people are supporting this thing. Well, that one is to do it, and that one is to do it, and my God, we in 2026, so you got to bring up something that happened in 2007 or 1995 and feel you're going to win the election in 2027? Make that make sense. Come on, NDC people, come on. If you're calling...
You may explain why they're doing... Hold on, you may explain why they're doing what they're doing. Now, what they are doing, again, if you look at the last few weeks, you would see that the NDC is going after, and I'll say it openly, they're going after two specific group of electors in Grenada. One, they're going after the diaspora. So they have confused a lot of folks out there in the diaspora. Not everybody, but they've confused a lot of folks out there in the diaspora that believe that the NDC is the best thing since sliced bread. Individuals who are not receiving proper information on what is really taking place in Grenada. So these individuals believe that they have to defend a government and administration that they believe is doing a lot of positive things for Grenada because they don't have the information saying otherwise. That's why programs like this are so important. My good friend down in Miami, he tries his very best to send the program to as much people and talk to as much people about programs like this and Mr. Pierre and Jenny's program and so on. He tries his very best to do that. But they are spreading that information from back in the 1990s and accusations, because you know nearly everything they say is a lie. They are spreading these bits and pieces of information because they are attempting to get at a new generation of voters who did not live through those things, who have no idea. Even some of them that are sitting in parliament right now did not live through those things. They weren't alive. And they are the ones that are now speaking on these things as though it's true. So when, for instance, they keep mentioning fowl farm, and this week we dealt with it. We dealt with the fowl farm, but you still hear some of them repeating it because not everybody would see the program that I did. Not everybody would see the interview, well, the press conference that took place back in January of 2013. Not everybody would see that press conference and understand, hey, the NDC is really the crook in relation to the fowl farm, not the NNP.
Yeah.
The NDC is the crooks when you're talking about fowl farm. The last one and the present one is the NDC that is the crooks with fowl farm.
Yeah. But Sheila, we all know that, and Dr. Mitchell with his wisdom, prior to this election, 2022 election, he warned Grenadians about certain people in the NDC who was running on a campaign, right? They didn't listen because they feel popularity in politics is one thing, but integrity is another thing, right? And when your integrity is dump drain, your popularity might supersede that, but you're still dirty and still ain't good in it. Corrupt politicians will always be popular. You know why? Because they will feed the people that want to see them succeed, and they feed it themselves with nonsense. I see what happened recently with a guy, a politician, and this man, I was in a certain area, and this man see me and he come and shake my hand. I said, brother, good afternoon. He said, brother's here. I said, yeah. I said, we good. I said, we real good, but I don't like it policies. I could tell him in the face. I don't go and say, well, let me hug you up and thing. I will see Dr. Mitchell the same way. If Dr. Mitchell do something wrong, I will say, boss, I don't like what he said. I wouldn't be honest. And that's the only way our country can go. But you have people just there, and what is happening right now, you are like, you use that word yesterday, virtual. They're using words. They had the people on radio saying the worst sort of thing about anybody in NNP. The poor, the dons, the smell is what they say. And Sheila, I keep saying it, I have been calling radio programs since I have joined NNP, since 2003 basically. But I joined in 1999. But since program come out, so you know how long. And I have never heard you, Mr. Alan Campbell, or anybody affiliated with NNP on any radio program, call anybody on NDC side, any derogatory names. But today, you are hearing it.
I just call a certain person
And the Prime Minister, Dick Mitchell.
I just call a certain person
but,
Pinky Tokolooks.
I mean, yeah, well, but Mr. Dick Mitchell will not put a stop to it. Mr. Tillman Thomas will not come out. You are people that when during the COVID time, you saw them in a video. 2 persons in a video, a young lady that actually may have a job now in the government, was making something, right? And one of the same NEC supporters, the NEC member, Mr. Like, you know, in the one with glasses, he called the people and them. He was cursing. This man that did NEC was cursed. The one that with the wrong glasses, he was cursed because he said all it no, that's not the way. You understand? So that goes to tell you, they will eat their own selves. It's like a tail and a snake, the snake eating its own tail. Like something wrong with these people. And the supporters who are blindly cannot see something is wrong with these people. Anytime NEC come into this country, it's corruption. And then they bring the biggest corruptor in chief. The man going to program that they're talking about PhD. And I mean, come on, Sheldon. How low can you go? But all I'm saying, NNPites, keep your eyes on the prize. Continue getting registered. Look at the addendum. Look at the list. The third quarter coming out. Look at it. Make sure your name is there. This diaspora
remember, this one that's coming up now is the names of the people that registered between January and end of March. So if people looking for their own name, they have to be that they just register or re-register then. But they still need to go back to the parliamentary electoral site like I did earlier online there. They should still go every now and again and check and make sure their name is there.
And once again, I'm pleading with NNP supporters, keep your all calm. Because I'm hearing the rhetoric and I'm hearing the wording on radio programs and I'm hearing it. Only let me keep you calm because I see what they're planning. You see me? I might lose my cool, but I realize what they're doing. But I tell you all because I know some of you all more hot than me. Keep you all cool. Just watch them and leave them alone. Sheldon have a good night upstairs. And by the way, in the show tomorrow night, later.
Yes, indeed. But me ain't no show tomorrow night, but I like my bed. Man, but I like my bed and I like my desk. That 2 places I like, boy. Wait, what show? Show you people, I know one of them. Yes, indeed, folks. 4407377. That's WhatsApp, and also WhatsApp 421-7279. I'm gonna see if I could connect that phone 7279 direct as well, so at least you'll be able to call directly. Yes, indeed, folks. Hey, you know something that went across my mind today? I don't know, I could be naughty one already. Yes, something that went across something that went across my mind today. Whatever happened to the weekly press conference by the NDC? Remember they're supposed to have a weekly press conference? Yeah, on June the 4th, 2025, they had their first weekly press conference. Whatever happened with them press conference and them? Remember this? Yeah, whatever happened to those press conferences?
This morning, the National Democratic Congress is hosting its first weekly press conference.
Well, that wasn't only the first, now that was the first and last.
Where we would engage you, the general public, through the media and talk a little about our major achievements, talk about some of the things that we have been able to successfully achieve as manifesto promises, and also dive into the happenings of the party. This morning on the panel, we have our General Secretary, Honorable Andy Williams, and we also have Tevin Andrews, the Honorable Tevin Andrews, who is the Member of Parliament for Karakou and Piti Martinique, and in particular the Minister. But he is here in his capacity as a Member of the National Democratic Congress and also the Member of Parliament for Karakou, Piti Martinique. So,
yeah, let's start all kind of, how come all start back on your weekly press conference? I find that one kind of shit, one and done, you know, and they feel we forget. No, we ain't forget. Sometimes we just not talk about things at a point in time. That was on the 4th of June, 2025. Yeah? 2025, they had their first, I think I know what happened to the weekly press conference, you know. I think I know what happened to the weekly press conference. Let me show you what happened to the weekly press conference. Yeah, I think I know what happened to the weekly press conference.
Morning, the National Democratic Congress is hosting its week.
No, that is not the right thing, man. Come, play the right thing, that thing. Are you so? Oh, that thing so. Play the right thing. Let me get the right thing. Nice. Yeah, let me get the right thing here. And then we go find out why they're not having a weekly press conference. Yeah? I think I know why, you know. I think I know why they don't have a weekly press conference. Let me hear.
One question. You're here with MTV or Informer? All right. So I recognize Sister Jenny Simon. I don't know what media house Simon says. I was just asking general. All right, sure. Go ahead.
Representing the citizen that's always.
All right. Go right in.
So I'll start with you, MP Brown. How's the studies going?
Studies is going well. Master's degree plus politics is not an easy thing, and you work as hard as you can to achieve it.
Wonderful, wonderful. You spoke of the press conference is about party.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the achievements that especially MP Tevin Andrew spoke of in Carriacou, are they achievements of the NDC party or the government of Grenada?
They are achievements of the government of Grenada, the National Democratic Congress administration.
Okay, so then we open up now. It's up.
I'll understand why they could have never had a press conference again. Jenny just walking the people press conference and that was...
So we can move there, right?
No. To be quite fair, it was about. I was basically talking about the promise that we made, or the campaign promises that we.
And who fulfilled the promise? The government of Grenada, right?
Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah, that is what they're afraid. So they never come back. All these studies going, you get another Z in the exam. They want to know if you get another Z in the exam. I hear things in my life, but I never hear a man write an exam and get a Z before, you know. We've got a call on the line. Hello, good night. Good night. Good night, caller. How you doing?
I'm okay, Mr. Ryan.
How is
my body, eh?
How is your daddy?
She's okay. Sunday's my body.
Sunday's your... Oh, okay. Well, I know how to pass by then. Just know that mine coming up right after, eh?
When is yours?
I don't want to say it on air. People go block my phone on the day. I don't want to say, but mine is right after. I'm April too.
Okay.
I'm the same day with Jason Skeet and Gregory Bowen.
Okay.
All of us is the same day. So all are we is April.
Okay. So all are we is born?
Yes. No, I'm not Taurus actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So we saying happy birthday. I can't sing, so I had to say happy birthday to you.
Okay.
And let me in advance. And let me say a very special happy birthday to my brother in Trinidad. Hingston, today is his birthday, so I send happy birthday to him as well. All right, my dear.
Okay.
Well, I know where to find you.
Right.
All right, my dear. Tell Daddy hello.
Right.
All right, my dear. That's it. Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, there's a lot of April people up in here. With the Honorable Keita Lois Peters, I believe her birthday is sometime next week, you know. Yeah, Sister Kate, I believe her birthday is sometime next week as well. Yeah, man, we got to big up Sister Kate for her birthday. Yeah, man, it's sometime next week. You know, as I mentioned that, though, there is a clip I want to play here. Yeah, because I was going back and I found it kind of interesting. Yeah, and it is in Sister Kate's constituency. And let's see.
Seamoon Cultural Center. This was a culture-based project that seeks to reconstruct the performance facility that was damaged since Hurricane Ivan. The new project comprises a main pavilion and a performance facility or the stage, and supporting features to create a modern venue for events. The contract is awarded to Kenny's Trucking and Equipment Services, and the supervising firm is Gleans Engineering. The project has faced some delays because we had to do some redesigning and re-engineering and subsequent contract amendments, all of which have been resolved. The works are ongoing, and we expect that by the end of the second quarter of 2026, that is the end of May, end of June, for the Seamoon Cultural Center project to be completed.
So folks, the story behind that is one. They're doing like if that's some kind of achievement. That Seamoon cultural facility was supposed to have been completed 2 years ago, in the year 2024. It is not a new project. It's not something that the NDC came in and they decide they go in and do, and woe be unto you, we come and we doing a special project and all that kind of thing. It is something that the new, in fact, look, let me show you something from the last election campaign. Let me show you a little ad there, man. Yeah, I'll show you a little ad and thing there. Yeah. Let me pull a little ad from the last election campaign for you all.
We are here on the construction site of the Seamoon Cultural Center. In 2018, I made a promise to my constituents that I will ensure that we bring back the Seamoon Cultural Center to this parish and, of course, this constituency. I fully understand the importance of the impact, the positive impact that this cultural center will have on our people and, of course, our constituency and by extension the country Grenada. We knew what it provided to us in the past when it was fully operational, and that is why I wanted to ensure that I return this project back to our people. In 2018, we started basically with the demolition of the old center. In 2019, we fenced to secure the area. However, in 2020, we were delayed because of the COVID pandemic. But what we did, we went on to do the drawings, the designs, whole consultation with the people, and eventually the tendering process. Here we are today, and I'm extremely happy that we are actually seeing the construction of the Seamoon Cultural Center. It's an indication that a promise made to our people has been delivered.
You're in safer hands with NNP.
Yeah, and you know they will come and they will open it and they mightn't even invite her. They wouldn't even let her come near when they cut in ribbon and all kind of thing. They would do like if it's them that do it. When you had the contractor waiting for money for how long you all didn't pay him. 2 years ago, this project was supposed to have been completed. Part of the reason it has not been completed as yet was because the contractor wasn't getting paid, you know. You had man vexed with him, didn't get any money. The contractor was not being paid by the government of Grenada, not the NNP government. That video you just saw there was from the last election campaign. That means the work that you saw going on there, the little drilling you was hearing in the background and all those things, that was taking place in the year 2022. The projected end of that project was supposed to be 2024. The NDC administration came in, make mawet with the project, say they change it. They didn't change nothing on the project. Just let me let you know. They didn't change nothing on the project. The bottom line was they could not pay, or they just did not want to pay the contractor. And that is why the Seamoon Cultural Center is not yet complete. Yeah? It wasn't that somebody designed it and say, oh, because you know what they like to do? They like to come in and change the name of things. So remember there was an attempt at one point in time to change the name of different programs in the Ministry of Youth. So then they could have come out and say, well, look, we do all these new, no, they didn't do no new programs. It's the same program and NP put there. But you change the name on the program and then you destroy it because you didn't know how to do it. If only were the action plans, I still have them on some disk somewhere around. I could probably get them for you all, you know, because we realize you all don't know what to do. But when it comes to the Seamoon Cultural Center, these individuals did not pay the contractor for an extended period of time, which is why the work slowed down. Now they know they want to call election, they're rushing to complete it because they feel Tessa have a chance. Tessa getting one amount of cocktail up there. Watch, I don't believe in violence, you know, but the amount of political lash that girl going and get up there, man, she ended up in oh-ho-ho. Short girl go put one cocktail on that girl and end she political career this time. Yeah? And all who want to jump in the dance and come and get the licks to come, enter the guile. Is boy passing left, right, and center. Enter the guile. Yeah? Yeah, that all. No about guile and stick fight. Yeah? Boy know the danger. Enter the guile, you go find out. Yeah? But with that said, understand what is happening. So when you hear them talking about these things, kind of pay a little more attention when they're speaking, because they're telling a lot of lies, half truths, and setting up certain things there. What they've been setting up is the story now that, look, we had to come in and save the Seamoon project. No, you did not come in. You come in and you delayed by a whole 2 years. And they wanted it delayed because they want to be able to go and cut ribbon. They want to be able to come and show and say, look, we did this in the 2 years, and in how much years? 4 years, we did this. And look, we were able to do that, and we were able to do the other, and so. So they're focusing on the infrastructure things that they could go and cut ribbon on and cut thing on and say, look, we opened that. The same thing they're going and do. How much you want to bet when they're doing the fort is all kind of fireworks and all kind of thing? How much you want to bet when they open that fort that they go in and spend tens of thousands of dollars on fireworks and all kind of thing to open the fort? That's exactly what's going to happen. So we know what is taking place there. We understand that these individuals, they don't really care, because the Prime Minister constantly makes the statement, up to this morning again, making the statement, as a lawyer, if you want to sue me, sue me. They're not suing you, they're suing the state. So when you make your stupid statements, when you make your stupid deals, when you make your stupid decisions, it's not Deacon Mitchell paying for it. And maybe it should be a situation with Deacon Mitchell paying for it. Then you'd never say sue you. But you know that when they sue, the Attorney General Chambers step in and the lawyers come and they defending Deacon Mitchell as Prime Minister of Grenada. Not Deacon Mitchell, the individual. Because they're suing you in your capacity as the Prime Minister of the country for things you did as Prime Minister. Which means that me, Sheldon, and all of you that are listening to this program, including those of you in the diaspora who send remittances home, who have property that you pay tax on home here, who have different things that you're paying here in Grenada, you as well paying for the stupidness that he doing. He ain't saying that, but he coming out and sue me. If they ain't agree with that, they could take me to court. If they ain't agree with that, they could sue me as a lawyer. Yeah? That's how we really living. So it don't matter that you will not even be Prime Minister by the time that case finish, and then the state of Grenada is going to have to find sometime hundreds of thousands, could even be as much as millions of dollars to have to go and pay these people. You find that's fair? You find that is fair? Come on, man. Nonsense. Folks, I need to take a short break here.
There we go.
Yes, indeed, folks.
Higher the monkey climb is more we expose.
You know it go when you had the children around, and so you have to check on them.
Over then the seas of the blood.
You have to check on them every now and again. Especially if you hear out of the way song, you have to run and check.
Mr. PM, please open up some doors. Why the hell food prices?
421-7279 and 440-7377. That's the number for you to call. The numbers for you to call. You gotta call us on the WhatsApp only. You can't call us direct. You gotta call us on the WhatsApp.
Transformation in we mass.
Yeah, folks. So when they're talking about the Seamoon Cultural Center and them kind of thing, they have to know they're talking to about them things. Sister Kate had that thing rocking already. You understand? All you come and all you slow down the thing. Just slow down everything. Cliff Road should have been done already. The Cliff Road is a project that ought to have been completed already. So I'm still trying to understand what's the hold up. You know what's the hold up? They're still trying to acquire land. Now you're coming out as the Prime Minister of the country and telling people, hey, we are going to complete that project by such and such a date. We're going to complete it by then. When you know the project cannot be completed by then, because work that needs to be done to complete it cannot take place because you don't own the property. You have in January of last year, you put in January of last year, you put in your documentation, but you have not completed the process. So you're still trying to get through to the people. Yeah, you have not completed the process that ought to take place to be able. Yeah, oh boy, why am I not seeing this here? Yeah, you have not completed the process that needs to take place in order for us to have that project completed. Folks, give me one moment. Something is going off here.
There we go.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And I go fix up all those high prices that most Grenadians can't afford. Instead of demolishing those poor vendors, put along the side of the road and leave them balling with them out close. Oh God, baby Jesus.
I realize one of my good friends is trying to call me there, but I'm not getting the call, so I'm going to try and get back to them.
Higher the monkey climb is more we expose. Please open up some doors. Why the hell food prices gone up so far?
All right, I think I've gotten through to my good friend. Hello, good night.
Hi, Solon, good night.
Good night to you, the Honorable Whitson Gary, Senator Whitson Gary. I'm still going this one time. How you doing?
Well, pretty good. And I am calling because I am concerned with some developments I'm seeing in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And based on what is happening, I just want to bring some clarity to people, so we at least will be at least mindful of what is happening with us.
Mm-hmm.
Some time ago, probably about 2 months ago, there was a rumor around that the government was having difficulty paying public officers. And
not rumor, no, because I know people that was going through it, so I wouldn't say rumor. I say
I would say a rumor because I didn't have qualified tax, but at least now I know differently. But at the time, one is wondering what really is happening. But recently, they had the Prime Minister on his press conferences. And he was boasting of they have just signed 2 contracts with this funding, the design and build project. This new strategy has been developed.
Yeah, that the companies basically had to go and find the money to build a road or to build a bridge.
So the company
design.
They're going to do the design and then they're going to build.
Mm-hmm.
But during that process, because this sound kind of innovative, but while in that discussion or in that press conference, he said we have to adopt this because they're having cash flow problems. So it's no longer a rumor that the country is having challenges to meet its recurring expenditures. So when we have been there before, I just want to take the country back for a little while, keep it back for a little while. Between 2008 and 2013, the country experienced this same problem of cash flow problems. And the economic model that was adopted by the NDC then was selling state assets to pay salaries. Prior to that, the unpaid claims in the treasury was over $60 million. What does that mean? The government was funding its operations on the backs of the private sector. It getting worse than that. Because you may ask now, what is the state of the economy in terms of the size of the national debt? What is the amount we are owing, or what is the size of the unpaid claims in the treasury? What is the debt to GDP ratio? We're not hearing those things. But to go back to, yes, we found a new model where the contractors will find the money and do the project, and then government will pay the after.
Senator Garway, one moment. Hold on. Let me just play something. I hope you should be able to hear it as well.
Okay.
And, let me just remove that.
And they have to build them. And after the construction is completed, then the government pays back over a period of time. And we are doing so deliberately also because we want to be able to manage the government's cash flow, because there are a lot of infrastructure work taking place all over the island. So the main...
Yeah, so they are having a cash flow issue. Hello? Oh, you didn't hear it? Okay.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, you didn't hear it, but I just played the exact part that you were speaking about.
Okay, fine. So he said that. But here the problem that we are going into. If the contractors were not to find the monies, do the design and build, this is a loan to the country. This is the additional loan to the country. It means, therefore, that the government is spending or is going into debt that we do not have the cash to take care of. I said in 2008 to 2013, we had the same thing going on. When we came into office, we had to look at this thing carefully. And I remember Prime Minister saying to the nation, this economic model that was adopted by the NDC is not sustainable. We cannot continue like this. As a matter of fact, there weren't any more state assets to sell. So we had to go and reach out to the international community. Reach out to the IMF, reach out to the World Bank to help us to fix the economy. And now we have a structure investment program. And now we're talking to the bondholders and creditors to take in a haircut and all the trouble we went through with this. But eventually they agreed to this. And the government had to introduce legislative measures to ensure that governments remain disciplined in safeguarding
Senator,
what we have just done.
For some reason, folks are telling me that they're not hearing you, and I don't know why. That is so.
Oh my goodness.
But some folks are saying that you're not very clear. I'm hearing you clearly here. So I'm trying to figure out why, because some of the calls that I had earlier were through the same system. So I'm trying to figure out, is it possible we can hang up and let me call you again, because I keep seeing messages.
Okay.
It's not clear. It's not clear. So let's
no problem.
let's try this again.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Great.
Okay.
So folks, let me try that again. I'm just seeing all the messages coming in there. It's not clear, not clear, not clear, not clear. Yes, so let me go back here and try that again and see if I can get it clear this time so that you all can hear what is being said. Yeah? I want to make sure that you all have, because a lot is being said there, and I want to be sure that you all can hear it clearly. So let me just make sure. Hello? Yeah, well, I'm hearing you loud and clear, so let's hope the others are hearing loud and clear as well. Let's just see, anybody message me? Are we
okay?
Go ahead.
All right. So does that mean I have to go over or just continue? But where I was saying, as it is right now, given that the country is adopting a model, a new policy where contractors will have to find the monies, do the the design for the roads, build the roads, and then government will pay thereafter. That is a loan to the country. And if there's a loan to the country, it's going to be added on to the national debt. We don't know what the debt is at the moment, but we know the government having difficulties to pay the recurrent expenditures every month, because the Prime Minister says so, that they have a cash flow problem. And clearly, when you say you have a cash flow problem, it means, therefore, that your expenditure in the month is much more than the revenue that you're generating. And there's a lot of problems associated with this. I did say, after we would have gotten the World Bank and the IMF...
Sorry to stop you again, but again, they're telling me the same thing. Maybe I need to change.
Okay.
Maybe I need to change phone lines. I won't call you from the other. You know the other phone line, right? 440737. Call us on WhatsApp on that number. No.
Okay,
What you're saying is very important. Some saying it's better. Some saying they ain't hearing. So I don't know what to do with them, because some saying it's clear.
No, I want people to hear this. I want people to hear this, because we are staring down a crisis, a bigger crisis than what we experienced in 2013. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll call you on the next line.
Yeah, call me on the next line. Let's see if that one works. Because some are saying they're hearing it, some are saying they're not hearing it. So let's see if the other line would work from... let's see if it works on the other line. I'm not sure what is taking place there, because we were actually speaking to two of the other callers. We spoke to them on that same line, and we didn't have that problem. So I'm not sure what is taking place there that is causing that problem. So let's hope that we can... let me see if I can call him, because I'm pretty sure that his phone would not allow him to directly call to us. So let me just call him here and connect with him using the other line. All right, and and call. I'm supposed to be able to call there now. Oh yeah, here it is. Let's see if we can get him on that other line, because it's it should be better on the other line. Let's hope that we can get him there. Come on, answer us. Give us a little answer there. Yes. Hello. Let's hope it works. Hi. Let's hope it works on this one now. So folks, you all need to message immediately and let me know. So before he gets into this, because it's a lot of important information that he's giving here. So we need you all to message me quickly, quick, and let me know.
Okay. Well, I trust it works. If not, we're going to be doing something new next week.
Yeah, because
all right.
Let me see. I ain't see anybody message. They're saying same thing.
Okay.
They say somebody is saying same thing. Let me see if that's the only person. They say they're hearing me loud and clear, but they're not hearing you loud and clear. So it's something with your phone. You need to change that phone. Yes, we are here. I didn't clear. No, somebody's saying better, good. Yeah, we are here. Much better. Okay, go ahead. So they're hearing.
Okay. Yeah. So just to back up a little. So folks who didn't hear me earlier, I'm saying that we had a rumor of around that the government was having difficulties meeting its recurrent expenditures, and in as much as that was the rumor, we had the Prime Minister in one of his press conferences saying that they have been able to sign 2 contracts with contractors with the new model that they have developed, the funding, design, and build, that is to do with building roads and so forth. Mm-hmm. And when he said so, he also said to us, maybe a slip of the tongue, but I believe what is in that must come onto the light. He said there are doing this because they're having cash flow problems. So clearly, it was not a rumor when you heard public officers were not getting paid on time. It is because the government was experiencing difficulties raising revenue. And when you have a cash flow problem, what does that mean? Simple. The government was spending more per month than it was raising in revenue. So as a result, they will have to delay payments to people, and it so happened that public officers fell in the squeeze. There are people who are providing services to the government and not being paid on time or paid at all at this moment because of the same problem. But we have to be mindful that this new financing model that the government, contract government has entered into is an added load to the country, because these contractors are providing service to the government and they're expected to be paid. We don't know all the details around this, and I wouldn't try to go into it now. That's not the focus tonight. The focus is we are entering into a crisis, or probably we are there already. We have to remember in between 2008 and 2013, we were experiencing the same thing. Government had a cash flow problem. Under the Tillman Thomas government had a cash flow problem. And what they back in doing? Selling state assets to meet recurrent expenditure. Obviously, this is unsustainable. They also had over $60 million worth of unpaid claims in the treasury. It meant that businesses provided service to the government and they were not being paid. So in actual fact, the government was financing its operation on the backs of the private sector. 2013 came, NNP came into office. And clearly the Prime Minister, Dr. Mitchell, said, this model that was adopted by the NDC is unsustainable. Because obviously we didn't have more state assets to sell. But the cure for this is to grow your economy. But you need a breathing space. So what the government did, in the national address, it said it's unsustainable and we'll have to find solutions. And the solution, we went to the international community, the World Bank and the IMF, for support in fixing this economy. And of course, yes, we got support. Remember when bondholders and creditors were asked to take a haircut, and it created big uproar. Even the NDC here was supporting the bondholders when they said they're going to sue us and so on. But eventually, the international institutions got them to quiet down, and they agreed to giving us a haircut. But government had to introduce some measures to cause government, the NNP, and future government to be disciplined in managing the economy. So we had the fiscal responsibility legislation that came in. We primarily established that government should not spend more than 9% of GDP annually in salary increases and wage this and the other. But we saw recently this government changed it. They broke that piece of legislation, move it from 9 to 14%. That is a big jump. And now you're saying that you have cash flow problems and you cannot meet expenses as they come up? Folks, I will need to ask the question. Are we heading back to the IMF and the World Bank to help us to fix this? What will become of the young people whom we talk about and we love so much? What milestone or millstone we hanging around their neck in terms of debt to this country? Where we are at this moment, I just want to remind us also, last year, or after, I should say, Hurricane Beryl, the government triggered the hurricane clause and suspended payments to bondholders and creditors and so forth. I don't know what is the state of this arrangement at this point in time, but this is something that we need to know. The government needs to tell us. What is the state of play with our creditors and bondholders? So, Sheldon, where we are at this point in time, I am seeing the measures that have been taken by this present NDC is worse than what happened during Honorable Tillman Thomas' reign as Prime Minister. It will take much more to fix this economy. And don't let anybody fool you and make you believe that it's nice and dandy. In the words of the Prime Minister, when he said we have a cash flow problem, he's saying things are tight. And if things are tight for the government, no wonder why we cannot see easement to the ordinary people, the ordinary man, in terms of cushioning the effect of the cost or the rising cost of goods and services in the country, or the cost of living issue. The reason why we're hearing so much people crying out that they are not getting the assistance that they once was getting, because the government not in a position to finance it. But we're hearing a lot of more spending gonna come up, and we hear a lot about talking, and I don't want to go into Polaris yet. But all that I'm going to say now, Sheldon, are we in a state, are we in a position to make the repayments of all these loans that we were taking?
And
I
think I want us to make a point here as well, that government's present cash flow is sans the loan payments, because remember you have the debt suspension that is in place right now and will be reviewed in 2027. So even with the debt suspension, which means they are not paying down on those loans and so on right now, they are still having cash flow problems, much less when you take that out and you reinstate and you have to go and pay your bondholders and all these people, you're going to end up in an even worse situation. And with the inflation that we're seeing, we know that we're heading in the wrong direction. We're definitely heading in the wrong direction.
So I want our people to be sober and to realize that this, what we're seeing right now, it's about, and if not addressed quickly, will cripple this economy. I have some more information to share. I think I gave enough for tonight. So I'll be probably coming back on sometime next week.
No problem.
But I want to say to
just call the number, man.
I want to say to the people of the nation, to my fellow Grenadians, this is our country, and we should demand better governance. We have seen it in the past with the Tillman Thomas-led administration, how the economy was wrecked and abused. You had debt to GDP ratio of 108 to 110%. You had national debt of way up in the sky. And we had to fix this. As a matter of fact, the debt to GDP ratio came down to around, the goal was 55%, and it came down very close, at 58 to 56% debt to GDP. And then when we had the hurricane, it went up, not the hurricane, sorry,
COVID.
The COVID, it went up somewhat.
Yeah, which was
but it's not at the level where it's at right now. But we don't know what the full measure is. So I want my people, when you have an opportunity to ask the minister the question, ask those direct questions. Ask those direct questions, because it matters for us now and for our young people who will depend on a country to provide resources and services to them. Sheldon, thanks for the opportunity. God bless you.
Brother.
And God bless to all Grenadians.
You have a blessed weekend as well, my brother.
I wish you the same.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that was my buddy in the parliament, you know. Himself and Brenda Hood. That was the three amigos in the parliament. Senator the Honorable Winston Garraway. And someone is asking you a question. You know, I know it's 10 o'clock. I'm going for a while still. Good night. Just want to ask a question. Am I okay to come home and vote because I don't live in Grenada? Would that be okay? Just asking. The qualifying criteria to vote in a Grenadian general election is that your name is on the voters list. That's it. That's the qualifying criteria. Once your name is on the voters list, you're allowed to vote. That is why we are saying to you that those whose names should not be on the voters list, they need to come out. If you are registered and you go and you're living in the States for the last so much years and so, but you're registered and you've come, you renew your registration or whatever, you're voting. Yeah? But if you have been out for, I can't remember the exact number of years, I can't remember if it's 5 or 10 years or whatever it is, if you're out, you should automatically be removed from the list. If you've not been in Grenada for an extended period of time, you can be removed from the list. And then you have to go back through the qualifying criteria again to be registered in Grenada. What I'll do is sometime during next week, I will play again that interview with the supervisor of election that lays out, although you make one or two mistakes, but lays out the rules in relation to registration. But if you're registered, your name is on the list. Yes, you're outside of Grenada, but you could come home and vote. And encourage your friends to vote NNP. Me and saying, don't come to some people, oh, they're outside, will they come in and vote? No, come and vote NNP. Come, vote NNP. That's what you have to do. Come and vote NNP. Yeah? Nice. Folks, no, I'm not going to end quite yet, because while I was going through today, there was one other thing that I saw. Well, several other things that I saw, but I think I'm going to deal with just one of them. But let me take this call first, and then we're going to deal with that. Hello, good night. Hello.
Shalom, good night.
Hey, good night, my dear. How are you doing?
Good. If you're living in a particular constituency and you move from there and you move to somewhere else and you want to change where you vote, what are you supposed to do?
First of all, you must be living in that new location at least 12 months.
And then what is the next thing I'm supposed to go?
Then you can go to the parliamentary electoral office in that constituency. You can go with your voter's ID and your other identification. You inform them that you are no longer resident. Let's say you were living St. David, but you moved to St. John. You tell them, I'm no longer living in St. David. I have been living here for the past year. Here are my receipts and so on. You could give them some bills because your bills would be shifted from St. David to St. John by that time. You spend a year there. You're supposed to have some bills in your name in St. John now. So you can show them, this is my flow bill. This is my letter from courts or whatever it is. I have my stuff. I'm living in St. John now for the last 12 months, and therefore I would like to be registered here. Yeah, and they would do their background investigation to make sure that you have been living there for 12 months, but then they would just shift your registration now. Your name would come off of the St. David list and come to the St. John list. It's not supposed to come off totally, yeah? It's just supposed to shift now from St. David over to St. John.
Thank you.
I don't think your registration number or anything else changes, just where you're registered. You don't even have to get a new card, as far as I know. Your name would just be shifted once they've completed.
Thank you.
All right, my dear.
Thanks.
No problems. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so you go with your voter's identification card. You go with your bills and so for your utilities. It might be NOASA, might be Flow. You go with your utility bills and so to say, listen, I'm no longer living in St. David. See, look, St. John. Look, this is the bill from January last year. I'm not living in St. David again. I'm living in St. John. And they would be able to transfer you over there. All right? So, yes, folks, I was looking over some footage today. And in particular, I was reading an article this morning. And that article kind of struck me because it spoke to something, although the article wasn't truthful in relation to it. The person probably didn't know how to look for what they were looking for because I was saying they couldn't find this. And I found something here. Let me just make sure. Oh yeah, you see, that's exactly why I had to do that. Yeah, so let me just play this for you. Let me just play this one for you.
My name is Deidre Seeley. On the subject of the asphalt, in recent weeks there have been some publications regarding the lack of an environmental impact assessment with regard to Reno's asphalt plant. From what I saw, there was basically approval was given without that assessment being done. Can you speak to that and how you might, if it is true, how you might mitigate issues like that with the other asphalt plants?
So I think and I assume you're speaking about in Woodford. Sorry, I want to clarify. You're speaking about Woodford. Okay. All right. So we have to balance environmental impact assessments with the hard reality on the ground. And ideally, in each case where development should take place, the law, particularly for certain areas, if you're dealing with the coastal areas, environmentally sensitive areas, you want an environmental impact assessment to be done. Like so many other things in Grenada, we have capacity limitations. There are very few people available to do environmental impact assessments. And oftentimes, experience, it takes forever to get it done. I am aware that the contractor actually sought to and retained someone here to do an environmental impact assessment. I don't think they've actually gotten the report. Right? And as the minister responsible for infrastructure and under whose umbrella portfolio PDA also plans, I have to make a decision as to whether we simply wait forever to get this environmental impact assessment report, or whether, given the fact that in some instances we are facing almost national emergencies if we don't repair and renovate the roads and fix the bridges, whether in those circumstances I should not proceed to authorize for the commencement of the milling and the creation of the asphalt, obviously while trying to take steps to make sure that we can mitigate any potential fallout. I'm satisfied, based on the specifications of the plant, that it's an ultra-modern plant that has built-in environmental impact mitigation measures. And in those circumstances, because of the crisis, frankly, we're facing in terms of the state of the roads, would have proceeded to approve for the plant to, in fact, start operations pending this environmental impact assessment report.
So, folks, the Prime Minister is basically saying there that he did something illegal. He's saying, he's admitting that they allowed Reno to go ahead with building that, and yeah, it looked like I would be here for another half hour. Yeah, he's admitting there that they allowed Reno to go ahead with the asphalt plant that they did in Woodford without an environmental impact assessment. Yeah? Without an environmental impact assessment. Something that, as far as the law states, and let me see if I could find the law here. Okay, yeah, there's it here. Nice, right. Where's that part? No. Yeah, so let's see if we can get this. And I'm just trying to get the specific bit of the legislation that deals with that. Right? So, yeah. Now come across, man. Yeah. Yeah, the environmental impact assessment. This is section 25 of the Planning and Development Authority Act. It says here, in addition to requesting further information under section 24, and section 24 says requirement for further information, right? In addition to that, the authority may require an environmental impact assessment to be carried out in respect of any application for permission to develop land in Grenada, including an application for approval in principle if the proposed development could significantly affect the environment. Unless the authority, for good cause otherwise determines an environmental impact assessment must be carried out in respect of any application for development of a kind mentioned in the second schedule, the authority must not grant permission for the development of land pursuant to an application to which this section applies unless it has first taken the report on the environmental impact assessment into account. And the Prime Minister is saying that he think they was going to do and they can't find nobody to do the environmental impact assessment. I'm going to play it again in a short while. The Minister may make regulations providing for the criteria and procedures for determining whether a development is likely to significantly affect the environment so that an environmental impact assessment is required. The procedures for settling the scope of the environmental impact assessment to be carried out by the applicant in respect of any development, the minimum contents of a report on an environmental impact assessment, the qualifications, skills, knowledge, or experience which may be possessed by persons conducting environmental impact assessments for the purposes of this act, the procedures for public participation in the environmental impact assessment, and public scrutiny. You see this? So the people of Woodford should have access to that EPA. Right? The environmental impact assessment and public scrutiny of any report on an environmental impact assessment submitted to the authority, EIA, sorry, not EPA. The consideration of the authority of an application in respect of which environmental impact assessment is required, including the criteria and procedures for review of the report. Now, there's other parts of it there. Now, the thing is, we heard the Prime Minister previously saying that they will be doing an environmental impact assessment for that project. We did hear him saying people was going against the MP for the area, and people were saying things about the MP. In fact, listen to him yourself.
And all kinds of attempts were being made to somehow associate the MP for St. John with the issue, as if she has land in Woodford and she's setting up a cement plant or asphalt plant in Woodford. It's private property, Mr. Speaker, where a private investor is seeking to invest in the very capacity that we don't have on island to be addressed issues like road construction. A lot of noise was made. The MP, to her credit, went to a town hall or village meeting organized by concerned citizens. The advisor in the ministry, as well as the PS in the Ministry of Infrastructure, went to hear the concerns of the persons. The private owner's representative was present, and I believe a meaningful and purposeful and sensible discussions was had. We understand that the environmental impact assessment is being done and that it will be delivered to the Planning and Development Authority.
You understand what? No, there is no way of saying no. Where you said in Parliament, sir?
Was had. We understand that the environmental impact assessment is being done and that it will be delivered to the Planning and Development Authority, that the commissioning of the site will not occur until there is final approval by the Planning and Development Authority. We believe a meaningful and purposeful and sensible discussions was had. We understand that the environmental impact assessment is being done and that it will be delivered to the Planning and Development Authority, that the commissioning of the site will not occur until there is final approval by the Planning and Development Authority.
So you know for a fact that an environmental impact assessment, according to the Prime Minister, and this was during the budget debate, that's just a few months ago in December, he was telling us that the environmental impact assessment is being done and it will be given to the PDA, who will not give the okay until that environmental impact assessment is complete. But all of a sudden the story changed, yeah? All of a sudden the story changed. A good job, young lady from the GBN.
Basically, approval was given without that assessment being done. Can you speak to that and how you might, if it is true, how you might mitigate issues like that with the other asphalt plants?
So I think, and I assume you're speaking about in Woodford. Sorry, I want to clarify, you're speaking about Woodford. Okay. All right, so we have to balance environmental impact assessments with the hard reality on the ground. And ideally, in each case where development should take place, the law, particularly for certain areas, if you're dealing with the coastal areas, environmentally sensitive areas, you want an environmental impact assessment to be done. Like so many other things in Grenada, we have capacity limitations. There are very few people available to do environmental impact assessments. And oftentimes, experience, it takes forever to get it done. I am aware that the contractor actually sought to and retained someone here to do an environmental impact assessment. I don't think they've actually gotten the report. Right? And
so he's admitting that without getting the report, that they went ahead and gave permission, because I have shown you last night the permission that was given to Reno to go ahead and operate there. I think it's 3 things in one. It's supposed to be an asphalt plant, a cement plant, and now we're hearing a quarry as well. So we're hearing 3 things that they'll be doing in that particular area with no environmental impact assessment given to the PDA. Yeah? Yet the Prime Minister, he gave his permission.
Structure and under whose umbrella portfolio PDA also plans, I have to make a decision as to whether we simply wait forever to get this environmental impact.
No, your decision is based on election. You don't care about the people of Woodford or anybody else. Your thing is based on election. You wanted to be paving road because everybody was cussing daily regarding the roads, so you wanted to fix roads. That is why you're trying to force the issue with that particular entity. Yeah? That is the reason that you are trying to force the issue with that particular entity. Right? But remember what the MP for the area say, because the MP for the area who's sitting in your cabinet didn't know that this thing was taking place. She didn't know. If you forget, no, we don't forget.
Development plans that is an asphalt plant that is going to be erected. So far, there has been the erection of plants. I can't tell you what is the name of the equipment, but there have been equipment placed on these sites as well as on the other side of the road as well too. You'll see that they were in the process of creating what seems to be like a road heading down to the bay. So long story short, I was made aware of the situation in February of this year that this plant is happening there. There were no consultation being done with the residents of the area and so. And of course, the farmers of the area and the residents of the Woodford and by extension Mondo area as direct communities reached out to my office to inform me that they would want to have an engagement with me on the issue so that I can take it up to the necessary authorities to ascertain what is happening because nobody gave them any insight. And so on the I think it was on the 6th of February this year, I met with the residents and the farmers alike to dealing with that issue as well as the collapse of the Mondo road. I brought Mikey Hutchinson as the person there because I always document whenever I have engagement with persons so that I am not misquoted or misinterpreted. So we had the dialogue there, and I think my response to them was from the perspective of having the company Renault personnel reaching out to my office, that is the Office of the Parliamentary Representative. That did not happen. From the perspective of, let's say, the Ministry of Infrastructure reaching out to the office to inform me that this is happening in my constituency, that did not happen. And so I told them from a time.
So Renault tell the MP for the area that major project like that is supposed to be benefiting the whole country, according to the words of the Prime Minister, they didn't tell her that it's taking place in her constituency. Yeah, so she's just the MP for the area. Maybe you was in Dubai too much. We don't know. It could be that. But she had no idea that this major project by Renault, the same company I was showing you with that explosion in Ferran where the 4 people dead and 21 people were injured, that company was coming to set up a plant within her constituency. Yeah? And nobody, the Prime Minister was speaking about what people doing like if she have land inside there. She has responsibility inside there. You see, you all don't care about people, so you wouldn't understand that. She is the MP. She has responsibility for the people there. She don't have to have land there. She has responsibility. We know you only care about where you have land. But no, she has responsibility for the people there.
I cannot speak to that of which I don't know.
Yeah, we understand that. But you tried to talk about CRIF the last time and you didn't know what you're talking about, eh? But anyway, that's for another night. Go ahead.
That I don't know the project and I'm the MP and I don't know, but to say that the conversation was not had with the parties involved. Consequently, after that, I put together a presentation and I submitted to the cabinet, including that of the Prime Minister, to inform them that this was the challenges and we're going to have I need some answers or whatever. I need to find out exactly what it is so that I can report back to my constituents and we can find a solution going forward. The same week, I was told that a group, I'd never heard of them before, but they subsequently put themselves together relating to that one issue. They brought together persons and they had a, public engagement, and they invited myself, and I said I was going to go whether or not I would have been invited. our Prime Minister had asked our advisor, because we share the same advisor for infrastructure and RE, to attend on our behalf. The permanent secretary and some of the staffing from the Ministry of Infrastructure and Reno Company personnel was present at that meeting, and lights were shared with the residents who had an issue with the project in terms of they're not being opposed to it entirely, but they are concerned about the public health and safety. They are concerned that no constitution was done, and they are concerned based on things that they heard was not fulfilled. And at that meeting, we were told by the Planning and Development Authority, I think that's what he was referring to as the PDA maybe, that Reno was given a halt, a cease order, for lack of a better word, until some of the environmental and social impact assessment was done. So it's not like if somebody...
And remember, the Prime Minister just mentioned to us that has not been completed yet. Reno has been told to go ahead. So they have gone ahead, and they go ahead building the plant and all kind of thing. Who knows if they already start producing asphalt and so, but it's being built. Yeah, I haven't been up on that side for a long time.
Access to doing something without going through the right channels.
Oh, without going through the right channels? Yeah,
until some of the environmental and social impact assessment was done. So it's not like if somebody gave them, access to doing something without going through the right channels.
Oh yeah? So it's not like somebody gave them access to do that. One, they were setting it up before you were speaking here, where you didn't even know anything about it, where the PDA didn't know anything about it. They were already setting up this thing. So somebody did give them access before they got the permission. And even now, before they get the environmental impact assessment, they are still going ahead with it because they've been given permission now by people that obviously reading the law how they want. Not because it just says may. In a situation like this, there is the possibility of serious environmental impact. If you're going to be doing mining, cement, if you're doing cement in that area, I remember passing through Claxton Bay in Trinidad. And in the area where they had the cement plant in Claxton Bay in Trinidad, you would know when you're entering that area because not only the cement plant, but for quite a distance away from the cement plant, the trees were covered in the cement dust. The houses were covered in the cement dust. The vehicles, if it parked too long, was covered in the cement dust. And that was outside of the plant itself. The area surrounding the cement plant as well. So you don't just go and you say, well, we're doing a cement plant and we're making cement and so. No. Not so the thing does run. Not so the thing does go. Yeah? We will talk more about this particular one next week. Yeah, we ain't done with Woodford yet. And I was going to speak about closure tonight, but I'll go hold closure for Tuesday night because let me remind you all, we have 6 minutes again because I'm just going up to 10:30. We will not be having program on Monday night. Let me repeat again. We would not be having any program on Monday night. I have a very important family event that I know is going to go into the night time. It will be impossible of me to be able to do the program Monday night, but definitely Tuesday night, God's willing, we will be back on, but Monday night we will not be on with the program. All right, just letting you all know. So folks, so much things that you watch. Let me give you one more before I go, man. Let me give you no, not a video. Let me give you one more before I go. Another press release that come out this evening there. Prime Minister to attend the funeral service of Dr. Roland Purcell. Again, when you let AI write your things. Anyhow, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell will be attending the funeral service of Dr. Roland Purcell on Saturday, April 11th, tomorrow, so he's gone. Joining family members, friends, colleagues, and well-wishers in paying final respects to a man whose life was defined by service, excellence, and national contribution. Dr. Purcell, who passed away on March 25th, was widely recognized for his professional work as a medical doctor and civic engagement. Dr. Purcell's commitment to excellence and mentorship inspired many, and his legacy will continue to influence future generations. In reflecting on Dr. Purcell's legacy, Prime Minister Mitchell expressed heartfelt condolences to the Purcell family and acknowledged the indelible mark he left on Grenadian society. Dr. Roland Purcell was a distinguished son of the soil whose life work exemplified integrity and dedication. His commitment to excellence and mentorship inspired many, and his legacy will continue to influence future generations, Prime Minister stated. The government of Grenada extends sincere sympathies to Dr. Purcell's family, loved ones, and colleagues during this period of mourning, and join the nation in celebrating a life well lived. So we send our condolences to the family of Dr. Roland Purcell here from Talking Points, and to his family, friends, colleagues. We send our condolences to all of them. But there's a problem, several problems with this press release. One, and let me just pull it up now. You know, I go pull it up and I go tell you what I mean by that while I'm showing you. Folks, where on that says where the Prime Minister going? You send out a press release, but you don't want people to know that the Prime Minister leaving the country. Because this means that the Prime Minister is going to the US. So first of all, you don't tell us anywhere in this press release, nowhere in it, says where the Prime Minister is going. It just says he's going to a funeral. The funeral is not in St. David. The funeral is not in St. Mark or in Petit Martinique. This funeral is taking place in the United States. And let me look it over again. They do have a second page. Nowhere there does it say where the Prime Minister is going. And that is being purposely done, because they don't want you to know that he's gone again. The second thing here is that he'll be out of the state. Who is the acting Prime Minister in that space of time? There's no information there that shows us, and I thought I had it up there. There's no information in this that shows us who is the acting Prime Minister. Which one of the government ministers are acting in the absence of the Prime Minister as the Prime Minister of Grenada? This doesn't say anything like that. If you are sending out a release, I put it on my hat as a former Minister of Information now, and as a person who's been involved in the media for well over the last 30 years. If you're putting out something like this, you're supposed to state, one of the first things is who, what, where, why, when. Who, the Prime Minister, where he's going to the United States, why he's going for a funeral, when he's going tomorrow. That's one of the first things they teach you in journalism. Who, what, why, where, when. Right? You all just decide that you're leaving out the where. And there's a particular reason you're all leaving out the where. Our Prime Minister has a habit of going to one place and ending up other places. We know our Prime Minister is a man that might leave to go to somewhere in Europe and end up somewhere in Africa. Or he might leave to go somewhere in the Caribbean and end up somewhere in North America. We know that that is the individual we're dealing with as Prime Minister of Grenada. And hence the reason that you all ain't giving us the where. So you all gave us the who. You all gave us the why. You all gave us the what. Yeah? He's leaving to attend a funeral. The funeral so and so, right? But you all ain't tell us the when. The where. And that is very important. It's lazy writing. Again. And some people may find that I'm nitpicking. I'm not nitpicking because there are larger consequences of these things that they're doing here. The laziness in this thing. Because remember, what is being put out there is reflective of all of us as Grenadians. The regional media is on the mailing list. They're seeing these things. The international media is on the mailing list. They're seeing these things and asking what kind of bush people Grenadians are. When you put this out, you are reflective of me as an individual. And I've been involved in print media. I've been involved in television. I've been involved in radio. I've been involved in digital media. All forms of media, you name it, I've been involved in it. And when you come and you're putting out things like this, that ain't crossing my table. I'll tell you straight. I'm taking it out, throwing it back for you. Back in the days of the late Leslie Pierre, you'd have seen the phone number 4401498. It was 1491498. You'd have seen that number calling you. You'd have just see that number coming up on your caller ID. Because Mr. Leslie Pierre would have called you and drag you over the coals for what you write there. He'd ask you, what is that? And while you're on the phone, he'd have rewrite it for you. People who've been involved in journalism know I'm talking the truth here. Leslie Pierre would have rewrite that for you while you're on the phone until you send it over. I know he used to do me that. That's how I learned to do the right thing. So this is absolute nonsense. Yeah? But we know you all have to hide the fact that the Prime Minister go in certain places. So the fact that he's out the country, if by the way he just ends up in Venezuela and reach back to Grenada on a private flight, well, you didn't say that he not going Venezuela. All you said is he attending a funeral. You didn't say where he going. If by the way he just ends up in Zimbabwe, in Uganda, in Zaire exists still. I think they changed the name of that country. I don't think it's Zaire again. Anyway, but he ends up in one of those countries, and then he comes back. We know what has happened. The Prime Minister's be going one place, and by bong way, he does end up all over the place instead. So that is why all you want to tell us. But anyway, folks, that's all the time we have. That's all the time I have to teach today too. That's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you, and everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend, but be safe. We know there are various activities taking place over the weekend, inclusive of the big event taking place at the stadium, not Dr. Mitchell Bill, the big stadium tomorrow, and other activities. So try, be safe. We want to be speaking to and with you. I always say that. We want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you, because we love you. We don't want to be here, too much times let us be here and I have to be talking about people, Yeah, we want to go through that one. All right, folks? So as I said, that's all the time we have for tonight. I will not be on Monday, but we'll be back on Tuesday, God's willing, with Talking Points for you.
Man Kelly singing political songs like we have an ulterior motive to bring the government down. But I tell them, hold on, wait a while. I will let political vampires grab my style. They could take a look at all my independent songs. I never sing politics, already write some sweet lyrics. So I don't know where they get this stinking idea from. Hey, somebody tell my Kenny gang a mistake they make to rap with young song. I'm in trouble long, I know what is going on. They could leave me out from semi-final. That will never stop me at all. I'm in trouble long, I know what is going on. They had their thing well planned to give the shanty man. So they leave out them bad man. They know they go take the ground. Up the Paris set. So they make a big man wet. They say that we ain't good. We can need that yellow food. Hey! Wow to them. It was disrespectful. Show of failure that living down by me. Well, one day he disrespect me because I asked him for my money. Then he went up in the ministry when he was in charge of culture. And he gave them strict instruction, don't give me no for Carifta. Somebody tell Mr. Study for me. Carifta weekend, well, I made the most money. Because when I roll out in me nice clean Toyota, I drop people all over. I collect US dollar. But I never make Burberry roll under my queen car. Hey, somebody tell this banger wrong. A mistake he make to put young song. I'm in trouble long. I know what is going on. I want him to explain to the people how he got his driver's license. I'm in trouble long. I know what is going on. You take them people land and try to be low bus stand. Then you walking wrong like you with some big badge, and when Puzzle pulley barricade, you fly up in a rage. That's why baby Jesus, he got you ignorant. When scholar running up him out and keep Mitchell and NNP. Realize the same center all you lads be jumping and clapping for you. Some people mad minded and haters for the lie. According to doing it to me so wrong and right. So right now I really don't give a damn what critics say. I come with God blessing, I don't paying anything. So nobody can tell me what the hell to sing. Hey. When Kid Mitchell selling passport, all they want to strangle him like a goat. rum in shop, I don't hear nobody talking about that. I'm in town real long, I know what is going on. Bullets flying like buds, but I don't hear in a word. From the commissioner, neither the prime minister, everybody mouth unlocked. No one is afraid to talk. Right now I go say it blunt, all you hit fucking mouth, hey boy. Ha! I collect real CBI money boy. But I hear most of it outside there. I like about to say, he's in Dubai. You see right